Okay, great. So hello. So let's start with this first topic. So I'm going to talk about the Monocle's ability to do this, the test in production or tip testing with your agent hosted in AWS AgentCore, and your client is using the Boto library, the AWS standard way of connecting to AgentCore. So, just a quick background. Monocle has two main pillars of the capabilities. So one is that it's a library that can generate the auto instrumentation, a open telemetry compatible spans and traces that captures the logical behavior of that agent. And then there's a test framework that leverages this traces and let you assert a agentic behavior. So that has been released for a while. So you can create a test that look something like this that says, okay, I run my agent. I ask a question to the agent, and then I can assert that after this execution, it called this agent and did not call this tool, or it called a certain agent which contains a certain input. So you have a data set that you understand how it behaves. You can validate that behavior of that agent using this test case. It becomes a test for your new feature development, and then it becomes a regression test going forward to make sure that the behavior of that well-known data does not break when you add new features. So this typically works well when you are running this in your laptop in your development environment. When you do the simulated test, that is, your agent is running inside your development environment. But once you are ready to move this agent to your pre-prod and prod, the environment changes. A lot of other variables are introduced in the mix. So you want to make sure that the behavior that was there in your dev environment continues to be same in your prod environment, and that becomes a very tricky business. And this is the problem we are trying to address it. So when your agent is deployed in the AWS Agent Core, you want to be able to validate that behavior using the same test framework. So in this case, let me show you. This is my demo travel agent. Is hosted in the AWS Agent Core. And then say I have this client which is using the AWS Portal library to talk to this agent. So this is a test case that I originally created to test it in my development environment, where I would run this agent in a simulated way. And now I want to take the same test case and make sure that it behaves the same way in the production deployment. So what Monocle has introduced this capability is that you set a special flag on your agent side. Then the Monocle test framework will basically submit your request to the agent using the underlying Boto library. And then along with that, it set a special request flag. It's essentially the Monocle on your test side is talking to the Monocle on your agent side, and it requests the Monocle on the agent side to return the traces back to the caller along with the data. And this happens at the Monocle layer, so it's completely transparent to your actual agentic code. So the traces that you got generated are returned back to the test case, and then you can run the same test assertion on top of that. So this is my test case. So if I look at, say, in the first example here, I have this, it's a mock travel agent where you can submit requests like, book a flight from one airport to another. And it gives you a mock response that the flight is booked. So in this case, first the Monocle makes it very easy to send it to a agent core. I have this agent core URL, which is my ARN, where I want to invoke that agent from. And then I tell Monocle that this is an agent core deployment and what's my question. And at this point, Monocle will send that request. The agent core deployment, which is also instrumented with Monocle, will run that, generate the trace, and return it back to this call. It's all happened transparently to the users. And then I do this validation that makes sure when I'm making a flight request, my flight book tool was called and my coordinator agent was invoked. And I can also check what was the, it contains the tokens in my input and output. And I just run this test same way as a PyTest. And I have like 4 different test cases where it validating different behaviors. I would just, yeah, like I said, run it as a standard PyTest, and it'll tell me, if my behavior is correct or not correct. And just an added security measure, both your test side and your agent side needs to have a shared key so that it doesn't accidentally release the internal traces to a normal client that's accessing your agent. Okay, so that's how the test is running. So let me take a pause. Any question, comments?